The only way this can be combated is through mass political organization. I think we're about at the conclusion. Fundamentals for unity presupposes organization. Now, we did say one thing, and this is a point we must hammer home. We said that when you think, you must think differently from the enemy. The confusion is here. Many Africans in America actually think, and even some who call themselves revolutionary and Marxist-Leninists say that we Africans in America have the same culture like other people in America. And they say it. This is a great error. This causes a great deal of confusion. Secretary says, à chaque peuple sa culture. Every people have their culture. As a matter of fact, our culture has been in conflict with the American capitalist culture and continues to be and will be until we destroy it. If you're not thinking clearly about your culture, you'll make big errors. I'll give you an example. People have a problem with gay rights and gay and lesbian rights. Man the other said, how come I hear you speak? I never hear you speak about gay and lesbian rights. Yes, that's right. He said, but I go all the others, they speak about it. I said, we are not from the same political platform. I fight for my people's culture. I know they have one. My job is every day to more properly define it and to fight from it. You think we don't have one, so you fight from a capitalist culture. You'll never get anywhere. Africa has a culture of its own, and her people are the carriers of that culture. And anyone who knows anything about culture, when it's attacked, Jack, the people hide it from themselves. Malcolm X said it. He said, they don't call themselves Africans, but you scratch them a little bit, you'll see how African they are. They've hidden Africa from themselves. That is to say, the people seeing the enemy overwhelm them will hide the very culture from the people themselves. The conscious element will come to see how they've hid it, to pick it up. Let me give examples on homosexuality. If you will look at the history of Europe, and you know the first law is always to know the enemy. You will see Europe has a bloody history on the relationship of homosexuality, from Greece all the way down to today, where they bash in the heads of homosexualities. Africa has none of this. Even Africans in America do not bash in the heads of homosexuals. The question of homosexuality is a question of intolerance. Europe's culture is most intolerant. It's really a culture that has no diversity. It seeks conformity. In the 1960s, if you would go to white colleges, all the white boys on there were wearing crew cuts and sandal shoes. They're all alike. The other day I saw one wearing long hair. He said, what did you do for me anyway? I said, made it possible for you to wear long hair. Yes, broke up the conformity. It's most intolerant. It's most intolerant. African culture is very tolerant. As a matter of fact, that's why we're the trouble we're in today. I remember as a young tough in Harlem, I used to go to the Audubon Ballroom when Malcolm was assassinated. I used to go to Rockland Palace, and if my memory serves me correctly, it used to happen in April. It still happens. All the homosexuals in the African community, and they put up signs, and I see them now. They have a big transvestite ball. And they would come at Rockland Palace, we were tough. I mean, 15, 16 armed. But wouldn't anybody think about hitting any of them? The best we could say is, you really think that one is a woman? No, none whatsoever. The hardest organization in our community against homosexuality is the Nation of Islam. You hear Minister Farrakhan now saying, you better tell them they got to straighten up their wrists. Yes. But everyone knows James Baldwin. And James Baldwin, no African ever hid their homosexuality. James Baldwin was a homosexual. And yet you will hear Malcolm X and Farrakhan praising James Baldwin for his contribution to the struggle.